Hello, my name is Greg, and I'm the owner and operator of Renaissance Polyculture. We're got 7 acres here in Swanton, Ohio, which is just a little bit west of Toledo. We bought this place, I think it's going to be 4 years this November, and this is the first year that it's really been operational. It was abandoned property that we bought on foreclosure, and it was in really rough shape. Everything was beat up. The roof was leaking. It was almost a toss-up between bulldozing the house or remodeling it. Still not sure if I did the right thing by remodeling it. It was quite the adventure. I learned a lot. I could just go on for quite a while with stories on that. But the focus here isn't about the remodel, it's about what's going on now. I've just been fighting back the overgrowth for a lot of times when it's not the growing season. It's a lot to take on. I don't use a lot of powered tools, and I don't like using herbicides to take down the overgrowth. I just don't know about the residual effects. I'm not trying to push some sort of, anti-chemical agenda. I just would prefer the things I'm going to eat to be as treated as little as possible. I don't want to get into a big debate about that. There's a whole internet for that if you're interested in it. You're just trying to figure out what I want to do with the land, how it will best suit my needs. The first goal really was to grow enough food to feed myself and my girlfriend Jeanette. That's the important thing. And we'll take it from there, and as if we keep growing, we can start selling. I have different plans for that. But this is just an outline, no need to get into everything. A little background about myself. How old am I? Shoot. Not old enough to forget, but I'm going to be 36 this year. And I don't know, like a lot of people my age just jumped around from stupid job to stupid job, trying to figure out what they wanted to. Tried going to college right after high school, and it just wasn't for me. I just wasn't focused enough on it, and personally, I have to be really interested to be motivated to accomplish something, and just a bunch of education about things that didn't seem important, didn't seem to be a priority. If it's something I want to learn about, I'll get books, I'll look at other YouTube videos, whatever, and just devour it and learn as much as I can. So it's not like I can't learn, it's just I decided early on it was a waste of money. But eventually I wound up in the insurance business, and I was supposed to be selling it and servicing accounts, and all I did was sit on a desk, phone jockeying, sorting paper and filing it, and putting on a lot of weight. It was really unfulfilling. If you're good at it, there's a heap of money to be made in insurance, which is, maybe some of the problem of why healthcare is so damn expensive. But that's another point for another day and nothing to do with the farm. But it got me to where I am today, and eventually it was a small office. My father and I, who lives in Florida most of the time, and we also ran a billing agency for another company, like a third-party billing administration. I did that as well. That eventually the billing for the company went in-house, and it was strictly insurance. And my dad thought, hey, why don't we add to your lines of coverage and get into P&C, which is like homeowners, car insurance, that sort of thing. I was doing mostly group coverage and some individual, but I kind of decided at that point that insurance wasn't for me. It was just not anything that brought me any kind of joy, that motivated me at all to do anything. It was just, I don't know. I just figured there was more to life than that. And at the point, I was still, I guess, young enough in my mind to just say to hell with it all and start over. So instead of getting more invested into something that I didn't care about, I decided I maybe should try school again. Second time's a charm, I don't know. But I'd always been interested in cooking, and I like to do it at home. But I just never thought of taking it to the next level as a job out of high school. Like, everything was all computers, write code, whatever. So that was something I decided to look into. So the local community college had a culinary program, and there was a waiting list. Also, from my previous college transcript was, I dropped out and didn't properly inform the registration office that I was doing so you pretty much get Fs. So I had to jump through some hoops and, kiss the guidance counselor's butt a little bit. But actually, she grew up on a farm, so she kind of dug it, because I was also looking at some of the starting of an urban agriculture program at the school. So after that came to be, I pretty much just started in the landscape and turf grass management. They had some like plant biology, plant science, soil science classes, and I thought that would be something that would interest me, and it did, and I loved it. And I just eventually said, why do I want to be in a hot kitchen when I can be outside in the heat and dealing with growing the food instead of preparing it? And then I can still prepare my own food for myself and friends. I always thought it'd be really cool to have like a barbecue pit out here that, on the weekends, just throw a couple hog butts on there and let them line up and fill their plate. So when it's done, it's done. But yeah, try not to go off on too many tangents here. So I got enrolled in the urban agriculture class. Matt Ross led that up. He was a high energy recent graduate from Michigan State University. Go Green. And he really inspired me to do this. During that, I learned a little bit about animal husbandry, more about, raising plants, greenhouse management. There's some business classes involved too. We met with people from small business incubators, and I also had to do a couple of internships, and it was kind of a difficult thing to get into because there wasn't a lot of options that, being a new program, we didn't have the connections to business like the golf course and turf grass did. All sorts of greenhouses, golf courses, arborists, stuff like that. But specifically for food production, there wasn't much, but there was started to be at the time some CSAs, which is community supported agriculture, and there was she's a friend of mine now, and her name is Liz, and I ended up working for her for what ended up to be one growing season, and then I helped her out for a partial one. I learned a lot. We're out there every day planting, harvesting, weeding, getting the hoe. She had a BCS walk-behind tractor that helped out with a lot of work, and I learned a lot. And then one of the it wasn't that year, but a couple years later, I got a job at a apple orchard here in Swanton, And it's actually a fruit farm because they have a blueberry patch, strawberries. They do the U-Pick, family run, they're good people. And I kind of ran the front end of it in the sales room. I was like the head apple sorter and polisher, I like to say. I had to run the forklift to from the warehouse, the cold storage, to the sorting machine. Grades out all the small ones, and then it buffs them up and makes them pretty, and then we bag them. It was agriculture related, but not really what I wanted to be doing. There was options to do other things if I would have stayed on. I also made gallons and gallons of apple cider. And I liked the job. I got to know some of the local people out here, including my neighbor who's just across the street. He worked there, as it ends up, and it probably helped to find this place. Otherwise, we weren't really looking quite in this area. We were looking everywhere, north, south, and east of here, but we had never really gone west. But here we are on a small farm. Last year I did my first batch of broiler chickens. It was an experience, and I could probably do a whole thing on that. But now I got my second one. We're starting small. I ordered 30. The hatchery likes to overship just to cover for losses, and they sent 32. So I've been raising them out, and I've sold them all. So that's a small win there. The garden is probably 4 times as big as it was last year, and we're just gonna keep getting bigger and focusing on what it is we like to eat and figure out how much I need to grow to be there, and then see what it takes to get surplus. I've also, out in the back, we got about 25 different fruit trees: apples, pears, peaches, tangerine. No, not tangerines. Those don't grow here. Nectarines. That's it. Just trying to have a little adventure with that. So if I actually get serious about this, maybe I'll do a couple more videos and you can actually see what I'm working on. Thanks for watching. Bye.